Okay, it's 2 p.m. Let's get started. A few more haven't come in yet, but never mind. We'll start slow. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this workshop on Huangji Jingshi year hexagram. So, today we're just going to talk about how to derive the year hexagram and then what the hexagram means to us as a whole. Yeah. So, before I start, there are some admin instructions here. Basically, three admin instructions. Number one, all of you will be muted except me, right? Unless you're invited up on stage, then you'll be unmuted. Otherwise, you will remain as muted. So, if you have any questions, any thoughts, opinions, comments, whatsoever, all type into the chat box on the right. Okay, so this is admin instruction. The next admin instructions. Everything go to the right side. And then the last but not least, the entire session will be recorded. So after this program, it will be sent for processing. And once done, it will be uploaded to the training portal and we will keep you informed. Yeah. So once that's up there already, you can log in to watch back again and again. Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you one question here. So feel free to type in the chat box. What is one thing that you can remember about 2020, 2021, and 2022? That's one liner, one item will do. What is one thing you remember about 2020, 2021, and 2022? Anything that first come out of your mind? Alan say COVID lockdown, open up, lockdown. Okay. So open up, then lockdown again, then open up, lockdown again. So Fiona say lockdown, COVID-19. Okay. So seems pretty consistent. Any more? So looks like pretty consistent. Jennifer say worldwide chaos. Okay, good. Worldwide chaos. Partly because of COVID. Partly also this year because of the special military operation. Monkey says xiong. Wow. One feeling word. Emotion word. Xiong. Cover everything. Okay, thanks, Market. Indeed, for some people, this is a very xiong years. These 3 years. If say work from home, so good. Wow. Okay, if very good. You have a different perspective of these 3 years. So to you, is work from home. Wow, better enjoy. Wow, you can. Yeah. So that's good. Okay, so everyone's perception of the good and bad is different. Okay, some say it's young, some say it's no good, some say it's so good, and some can only remember about toilet paper. Okay, Darren. so different people have different interpretation. But anyway, uh, putting your interpretation one side, okay, and be objective about things, looking at the event that has taken place over the 3 years, I think one common theme across most of y'all is 2020, we experienced the COVID-19 pandemic and its related events, okay, because of COVID-19 pandemic. For example, wearing masks, locking down, taking vaccination, all these things. So 2021 is the continuation of this saga, okay, COVID-19 saga. And we'll also see a marked increase in the number of deaths as compared to 2020. So despite having dealt with COVID-19 for one full year, in 2021, we still see even more death. So that's something very fascinating. Yeah. Okay. Despite all the measures that we put in place, all the countermeasures and prevention, we still see more death 1 year later in 2021. Good afternoon, Hotley. Just in time. We just started only. So in 2022, COVID-19 is still there, but it's tuning down, winding down. But is it really winding all the way down to zero? Yet to see. So perhaps later when we look at this year histogram, we can draw some conclusion whether COVID-19 will come to zero or not. Okay. Good afternoon, Andrew, just in time. So 2022, in addition to COVID-19, we see world chaos also arising out of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Right. So the thing is that, do we see all these things coming? Do we see all these things coming, or we don't know? We can't tell. There's no way to tell that all these things are coming. Out there in the market, there are a lot of predictions going out there, advanced prediction to say that, oh, this year you can expect this and this, that year you can expect this to happen. So for Chinese culture, is there a method that we can do the same thing? I recall there's one, when you watch YouTube, right, I think there's one video on by an Indian boy, prediction by an Indian boy, is it Indian boy, who has predicted quite a number of things that had came true in advance, right? So if you look back at our Chinese culture, do we also have something similar? Indeed, we have. Okay, indeed we have. And that system actually, if you read that system, it's called Hjjs-Year. It actually explain or lay down the, what do you call that, universal ordering principle. That means a system that explain that ordering. Okay, ordering means the sequencing of things that's going to happen year by year, or maybe a period by period. Okay, so therefore, if you want to learn this system, then we must learn this system called 黄极经世. That means this 黄极经世 allows you to go behind the scene to look at that universal ordering principles. And then from the principles, you make your best sense out of it and say that, okay, because of this ordering, and therefore when it comes to 2022, what could likely happen? Right? So, because you are here today with everyone else, can I safely assume that you are interested in finding out these so-called universal ordering principles? If you are, type a yes. Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. How about the rest? Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Hotley. Okay, thank you, Andy. If say master, this system is set, cannot change. Yeah, the system cannot change. Okay, the system cannot change. Fiona, thank you. Andrew, thank you. Okay, the system cannot change because this is the unchanging principles, the unchanging law. What can change, right? What can change is our interpretation of that principle. So therefore, even if it's the same principle, 10 different people looking back at this principle may have a slightly different interpretation. Why like that? Okay, why like that is because of that 10 persons, what do you call that, life experiences and the understanding of eating and the hexagram, and understanding of the dynamic of the energy when one hexagram change to another hexagram, the changing part, that will differ. Okay, so if all of you answer yes, for those who answer yes, that means you are at the right place today. Yeah, so once again, welcome to this workshop. Just a brief introduction about myself in case there's someone first time seeing me. If it's saying, then why we want to change line? Because the world is changing. Unchanging principles, in front of the unchanging principle, there are always changes. Okay, so a little bit background about myself. My name is Kun Leong, Yo Kun Leong. I'm a life coach, eating trainer, and also author of several ebooks. So for the past, maybe I need to update this slide already. Yeah? So it should be past 10 years of my life, I've been helping people achieve positive and transformative change through the power of life coaching. So my methods of life coaching, very simple. I just use arsenal tools of eating. It can be feng shui, it can be life frequency analysis, it could be prediction, it could be all sort of eating tools, right? So and also teach. So my personal mission is to make a positive difference in people's life each day, and also wanting to make eating easy and practical, because all these years people have been telling me eating is so difficult to understand and so difficult to learn and so difficult to apply, which I say it can't be, because if for so many thousands of years Chinese culture has been using eating, then it must be something that is usable, practicable, and relatable, right? And indeed, it is so. Okay, after many years of research into eating, I believe it is so, and that's why I did all the heavy lifting and I convert it into workshops like this or full program, like many other programs I have, and I explain to you. Okay, Darren say also our subject matter expert towards life. That's right. Thank you, Darren. So if back to your question, then why we want to change? If we don't change, we won't improve. Today you're earning, for example, let's no, maybe talking about me lah. Uh, 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 30 years ago, when I step up into the workforce, I was just earning about $900 per month. If things don't change today, I'm still earning $900. Are you okay with the kind of lifestyle? Can't. Okay, things need to change, things need to improve, things need to evolve. You get my point? If so, everything need to change, and what we need to do in order to stay ahead of the change is to learn I Ching, and then apply it. Okay, so one way to learn I Ching and apply it is to know what is the yearly histogram and what is that yearly annual energy means to us, and we have to stay ahead of them. Okay, so every time I run a class like this, I always have two house rules. Okay, two house rules. What are they? Number one, don't believe a thing I say. Right? Why would I want to say that? Because whatever I'm going to share with you today in this workshop are all my experiences, are all my understanding, are all my insights. Now, talking about insights, everybody's insights will be different. Even though later on when I share with you all the hexagram, all my knowledge, all my insights, you may come up with your own insights. Could be very different from mine, which is not wrong, which is not right also, because this is just your insights. Okay, so what I need to do is rule number two, come in here, learn with an open mindset and growth mindset. Who knows, maybe I said something that can trigger something in you. And then you come out with even a better insights than mine. So we learn from each other, yeah? So if say, but they are universal law, yes, they are universal law. Change is a universal law. If we change it, are we still aligned with the universe? Yes, we are. Okay, yes, we are. In fact, if you don't change, you are not part of the universe. you know, this universe, right? The world we live in, right? The nature that we live in is always from birth to death. This process is called change already. You get my point? Unless you can escape out of this Xing, that means you are not susceptible to this birth and death thing, then you're not changed. Right? So if we change, we are what do you call that? We are part of nature. Okay, we are aligned with the universe. Right, disclaimer, I think I mentioned this already. Even though I show you the the hexagram later, some of you may come out with different understanding and insights. Okay, so why would that be? Basically, is your level of understanding of the various fundamentals, concepts, and techniques that I'm going to mention today. And then your circle of competence in subject matter, for example, world event, life, okay, daily living, and things like that. And also the time you devote to training and practices. What training, what practices is looking at the hexagram and relating to the world event. Right? Why I say world event is because world event is something that everybody say, oh yeah, it's happening, it's happening. If I talk about my neighbor's event, you probably won't be interested. You get my point? So world event can be verifiable and it's also public knowledge. Okay. So Darren said there's a saying, we like it or not, the earth is still turning, sun still rise. Exactly. So every second, there's always a change. Even in our body, our DNA, okay, every second is also changing. All right, so what we're going to cover today in this Huangji Jingsi workshop, I break up into 5 parts. The background of Huangji Jingsi, HJJS is an abbreviation of Huangji Jingsi. And then part 2 is Huangji Jingsi and the earlier Heaven 8 trigram. Third part is a structure. Now, the structure could be confusing to some, but don't worry. I just want to explain a little bit to get you up to speed so that you understand why I pull out this hexagram, why I use the hexagram, why I calculate in this manner, things like that. Very minimal calculation because all these things are repeatable system. So all you need is just template and then you just go along with the template. Yeah. And then part 4 will be once you know the structure, you will know how to derive the yearly hexagram. And then from there, part 5, the last part there will be going into the hexagram by hexagram to understand the yearly energy and its dynamic. Okay, so basically I try to cover 1, 2, 3 before lunch, right? 4 and not before lunch, sorry, before the break. Okay, before the break. 4 and 5 will be after the break. Okay, so I hope to finish as 1, 2, 3 as fast as I could, so that we can have more time on the last part, the general analysis. Okay, having said that, that's the intro. Are you all ready to get started? Type a yes in the chat box if you are.